Hello, this is Mr. Daniels reading Chapter 20 of Freak the Mighty Strikes Again. And we're going to get right into this one. Exciting chapter coming up here. Even a total goon like me knows you can't stop Killer Kane, but I go ahead and try anyhow. My hands are still numbed and I can hardly walk, so all I can do is sort of fall on top of him and try to shove him loose from her. I'm going, "Stop! I see you, Daddy! Please stop! You're killing her!" He just twitches me away. He's made of iron and steel, and he's gritting his teeth, squeezing her neck. You can see the whites of her eyes, and she's not even trying to get away anymore. I try to get between them, and I'm going, "I saw you kill her. I saw you kill Mom. I'll never forget, not ever. I know you did it. I know!" It's like I'm trapped underwater or something. So weak and floaty, I can't hardly fight him. I can't pry his fingers loose from my mother's neck, from Loretta's neck, because everything is mixed up, and he's doing the same thing to Loretta Lee that he did to my mom, choking the life out of her. And he's got that same cold killer look because he wants her to die, like he wanted Mom to die, and nothing else matters except what he wants. I'm there in the cellar dark pushing at him. The light catches her eyes, and I can see her looking at me, and she's so far away, it's like I'm 4 years old again, peeking out from behind the bedroom door, then running to bang my little fist at him while the light fades from her eyes. I can't get him loose from her. All I can do is keep screaming, "I know you killed her! I saw you! I saw you do it! You killed her, and I'll never forget! Not ever!" Finally, he kind of jerks his head, and I can feel him looking at me and his hands open. Loretta slips away, and I can hear her breathing like a broken bird in the cellar dark. "What?" he says, reaching for me. "What did you say?" "I saw you do it," I say. "I saw you kill my mother." "Well, you weren't but 4 years old," he says. And now his big hands are starting to curl around my neck, except he's holding me soft. I can feel his heart beating and his cool breath in my face that makes me want to fall asleep. "You can't possibly recall that event," he says. "You think you can, but you can't." "I can," I say. "I do." "Oh, that's the poison they put in your mind, boy. They brainwashed you into thinking you can remember." He's pulling me closer, holding me soft by the neck, and now I can feel the pulse in his hands. "They never talk about it," I say. "They don't have to, because I can't ever forget it no matter how much I try." "No," he says, and his face is so close I can feel the heat rising off of him. "Impossible. You can't." "Well, you're wearing your brown corduroy trousers," I say, talking so fast it makes me shake inside, "and the black t-shirt with no sleeves. I tried to stop you, and I couldn't. You carried back to my room and put me on my bed and told me I was dreaming. You looked back, locked me in that room, and I ran to the window and I broke at my hand and started yelling for someone to come help Mommy." My father sighs and says, "Lord, I hadn't wished you'd done that, boy. It would cost me years. They caught you, Daddy, and they put you away forever, except you fooled them, and they let you go. I have to clean this up," he says, and it's like he's talking to himself alone. "I have to clean this up and get out of there." And that's when his hand's starting to tighten hard around my neck. I'm trying to fight him, but I'm so small and so weak, and he's so big and strong, and you can't stop him. No one can stop Killer Kane. He squeezes and squeezes and squeezes. I'm in this faraway place, falling backwards, real slow and dreamy, when I hear a window breaking. Then a small, faraway voice is saying, "Put your hands up, villain!" And I really am falling, and the air is coming back into my lungs so fast it hurts. I'm lying there all crumpled up sideways, and I can see Freak. He's rolled down through the cellar window into a pile of coal, and he's trying to stand up. "I'm warning you," he says in that fierce, bold way he has. He's got a squirt gun, one of those big blaster models that holds about a gallon of water. Killer Kane is looking at me, and he's looking at Loretta, all crumpled up and moaning, and he's looking at Freak. Then he shakes his head and he goes, "I know a real gun when I see it, you little monster." He makes a move, reaching out. Freak scuttles back a little ways, but he can't run even if he could. There's no place to go. "This is your partner in crime?" Killer Kane says to me. "I guess maybe you are a retard after all." Freak is pointing the squirt gun right at his face, and he says, "Guess what I got for Christmas, Mr. Kane?" "Guess right, because your life depends on it." Killer Kane doesn't say anything. He's just reaching out real slow because he knows Freak can't get away. "This squirt gun," Freak says, "and a chemistry set. That's what I got for Christmas." Killer Kane just looks at the squirt gun. He shakes his head like, "Who are you kidding?" Sulfuric acid, Freak says, raising up the gun and sighting along the barrel. Good old reliable H2SO4, an oily, colorless, corrosive liquid used in dyes, paint, explosives, and many chemical experiments. Killer Kane says, You're lying, kid. You can't fool me. And that's when Freak squeezes the trigger and sprays him right in the eyes. Killer Kane is screaming in this high, scared voice. His hands are scrubbing at his eyes, and that scream wakes me up, because the next thing I know, I've got Freak in my arms, and I'm running through the dark for the stairs, running as fast as I can go on feet I can't even feel. Go! Freak is yelling, He's right behind you, go! I can't look back, but I can feel him, feel the icy cool breath of him on my back and my neck, and the hands reaching up blind to grab me, and then I'm going up the stairs, just flying. The steps are breaking under my feet. He's howling in rage behind me, and he's scrambling at my ankles, and for just a second, he has me. I kick loose, and then we're up on the first floor, bursting out of the cellar hole. I can see daylight coming through the boarded up plywood, and I cover Freak with my arms, and I just dive right out through that plywood. Wham! The sunlight blinds me, and we're skittering through clean, cold snow. Hands are grabbing me, and I'm fighting to get away. Easy, a voice says. Take it easy, kid. You're okay. Iggy Lee. He's looking down at me with red eyes, and you can see where he's been chewing at his beard. I'm sitting there in the snow, squinting up at Iggy, and all these cops. There must be 1,000,000 cops, and Freak is laughing like a maniac, saying, It worked. He fell for it. Soap and vinegar and curry powder. It worked like a charm. I don't understand what he's talking about right then. It's only later I figure out that it wasn't really any acid in the squirt gun. It was soap and vinegar and curry powder that made Killer Kane think his eyes were burning up. Killer Kane, who's still rubbing frantic at his eyes and begging for help when they put handcuffs on him and shove him into the back of the police van. All I've got room to think about is poor Loretta. That's what I'm telling the cops, that she's down there in the cellar. I'm afraid that no one's listening to me, but they must be, because right away they're bringing her up out of the cellar, and Iggy is running to her, crying out her name. She's still breathing, somebody says. Then Graham is shoving through the crowd of cops, and Grim is right behind her, and Gwen is there too, and everybody is making a big sloppy fuss, especially Graham, who's hugging me so tight I can't hardly breathe. The fair Gwen is hugging Freak, and she's saying, I told you to stay in that car, didn't I? Didn't I? Freak, he's looking over his shoulder, and looking over Graham's shoulder, and he gives me the thumbs up as she carries him away. Freak the Mighty, he says. Freak the Mighty strikes again! Okay, wow, that was an exciting chapter, and you know what? We have the hero of the scene right here next to me. We have Kevin Dillon, otherwise known as Freak to you, but I'm going to call you Kevin. Kevin, what in the heck was going on there in that scene? How in the world did you rescue Max?
Well, you have to think about this. Killer Kane is actually not that smart. You know, he's big and strong, but when you think about it, he is absolutely as dumb as an ox. And that squirt gun was the absolutely only question I had. And, you know, when you squirt soap, vinegar, and curry powder in the eyes, it does not feel very good. And I called it sulfuric acid because I thought that would actually just add a little bit extra to the story.
Well, hey, your plan worked like a charm. How in the world did you, you were at the window the entire time?
Oh, yes, I was at the window. I saw the whole thing going down, and I had to go in and rescue my friend.
So wait a second. That scratching that Max heard at the window in Chapter 19, that was you?
Yes, that was me trying to get in the window.
Oh, man, I thought Max thought that was just like a cat outside or something.
It was me.
Okay, I'll trust you on that one. So how do you feel? How does it feel to be the hero of the day?
I'll have to admit, it feels pretty good. And Killer Kane, that big monster, is going straight to jail.
Yes, he is. I don't have to worry about being choked or tied up or anything in these character interviews because you are at my side and he is behind bars right now. At least, so I think. This is Mr. Daniel signing off.
And Kevin signing off.
For the next chapter, and we do have 5 chapters to go. Chapters 21 to 25. So have a pleasant evening, and thank you so much for listening.